and they'll get the signal from the starter stand in one more lap. We'll go green. Remember, the format for the night, same as it's been. Heats 1 and 2 are 12-minute timed races. The main event here is going to be 100 laps. Finish of Heat 1 inverted for the start of Heat 2. And the average finish of the 2 heat races determines the grid for the main event. Look at this crowd. They have packed them in today here in South Central Virginia. These people love their racing. And they have been, since they announced that SRX would come here, anxious and excited about this night. They showed up early today, and they're going to make a lot of noise all night long.
And you know what? There's a fireworks show, and that's the best sign of promoter racing. That means we're about to see some of the best racing that we could ever see on Saturday night.
Bobby Labonte in the white car. Greg Biffle in the gold. Lead the field of 12 off of turn number 4 to the green flag at South Boston, Virginia.
Great start lineup there. That was very, very in order. It's very, very impressive. But Biffle with the jump on the outside lane. That's very impressive.
Greg Biffle with the early lead. Labonte is just behind him. Marco Andretti squeezes up in front of Ryan Hunter-Reay for third. Hunter-Reay with him side by side behind him.
I think you already saw in lap 1 how quick that wall gets to the drivers in turn 4. It looked like a couple guys might have scraped it already, and that'll happen all night.
It's tight here. This is tight. Here's Marco Andretti with a look for second place underneath Bobby Labonte in turn 2. Andretti in orange.
Marco once more. I spent a couple days at his house after the race last weekend, and I know he's hungry for a win here tonight. He's been really fast. He waited a little bit too long last weekend before he started his charge forward, and I know he's going to be fighting for it tonight.
So Marco to second place. Bobby Labonte back to third. Ryan Hunter-Reay in fourth. And working on him there in that red car, fifth in line, is the local all-star Peyton Sellers. Sellers is a 38-year-old from nearby Danville, Virginia. He's a 6-time track champion here. He's a 2-time NASCAR National Short Track Champion. They add up points of all the NASCAR-sanctioned short tracks across America. He's been the best in the nation twice, including a season ago. And he is a huge local hero here in South Boston.
It was really interesting talking to him earlier, though, because he's got so much experience here, but the first thing he said was like, oh, I don't like how this car drives. And so that's a true racing driver right there. I think he's going to be getting used to this thing just like a lot of these other drivers, but you know that he's got the experience here. He knows what happens when the sun goes down. He knows where the track grips up a little bit, and he'll be fun to watch.
Change of position just behind him. Tony Stewart just got a spot on Ernie Francis Jr. Francis Jr. just got the back end, kind of stepped out on him in the corner, and Stewart was right there and made the jump for the spot.
I've seen a lot of these cars moving around, especially Ryan Hunter-Reay. I think he's still getting used to these cars for sure. And again, you got to be careful with the tires. What's it going to be like later? How's it going to be towards the end of this heat, and even in the next heat as well?
A little nudge toward the back of the field as Ryan Newman tries to make his way forward and get some progress.
That was bigger than a nudge. He almost moved Tony Kanaan straight up into the wall. I love it.
While up front, it's still Greg Biffle and Marco Andretti in first and second spots. Here's Andretti in orange, Bobby Labonte in white. Bobby started on pole for this event. First time he started on pole in anything SRX. Of course, that drawn by random.
And Bobby Labonte is going to be very, very smart tonight. You know he's got the experience here. He's an absolute legend all across the board. And I don't see him moving Marco out of the way, but if he does, I mean, that's not car racing.
Things happen. And as you said, it might be the way you got to make progress in this field tonight. And yellow flag is out in our first heat race here at South Boston. This is a fun flag. We'll double them up and restart them again and smile at the action we get. That's coming right back from South Boston, Virginia. Superstar Saturday night on CBS with the Camping World SRX Series from South Boston, Virginia. And the second of our 6 races across this summer. Winding up the first caution flag and heat number 1 tonight. They'll double them up, and Greg Biffle is going to lead them to the restart.
And who learned the most in that short little sprint towards the first fun flag, a little yellow flag? So I'm very curious to see who goes super aggressive and who hits who first.
You mentioned your pal Marco Andretti in that orange car. How aggressive can he be with Greg Biffle in the gold car on this restart? Here they come to the green flag.
There goes Marco right out the gate. We knew he wanted it. Got a great start right around the outside of Biffle. Exactly what Biffle did to Bobby Labonte at the start of the race. So there, he's using his eyes. He's learning. He's a very smart man.
Hunter-Reay gets in front of Labonte for 3rd spot in the black car. Bobby beaten all over the back bumper of the Hunter-Reay machine as Tony Stewart comes up to the outside of Labonte in the red car. So that's for 4th place.
Great side-by-side racing here, honestly. A lot of people were a bit nervous about how good these cars were going to be side-by-side at this slightly tighter track than last weekend. And again, on that onboard shot, you just see how close they get to the wall every single time exiting 1 and 2 and 3, 4. It's very, very, very tight here.
Let's check downstairs with Matt.
And unlike a week ago, the temperatures were just so hot, we won't be changing tires tonight during the event. These guys know the tires will be there at the end. Track conditions right now, we're in a transition. Going from the heat of the day, it's cooling off. It's going to be much grippier in the next 5 to 15 minutes.
Grippier, a racing word you'll only find.
That is exact racing terminology. Beautiful move, though, by Bobby. He's obviously spent years racing against Tony Stewart. He knows how to race him. And Tony was a guy that last weekend we did not talk about as much as I expected. I mean, Tony's a legend and everything, but he had a tough weekend, so you know he's going to want to have a great comeback.
Banging together, Biffle underneath Andretti for the race lead.
Bull rubbing his racing right there. Greg Biffle firing it down the inside. Got to respect that move.
Marco trying to cross over. Can't quite get to that left rear corner. So Greg Biffle back out front.
Greg Biffle and everyone else in this field are going to be doing that all night. Use the bumper, get into the side of the car in front of you. Not enough to put them in the wall, but just move them out of the way a little bit.
That is our augmented reality from on board Greg Biffle's car. You can see the revolutions, the miles per hour. Even though it's a tight little track, you still got triple digits on the speedometer.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, again, we keep saying these cars have a ton of power. I mean, these are short straights, but you're getting well over 100 miles an hour into each entry. You got to get on the brake just a little bit, but I thought my problem, open wheel drivers, we hit the brake really hard initially, and I think the real we got a little bit of
Bobby
bit too much rubbing and racing.
Trying to get underneath Brian Hunter-Reay for 3rd spot. Good save by Hunter-Reay. Labonte's going to force his way through. Here comes down to the inside Tony Stewart.
Tony Stewart, the classic 2 for 1. We love a good deal when we see one, and he just cashed in right there.
So Tony Stewart up to 3rd. Watch Ernie Francis and Ryan Newman. Francis on the outside. Newman saying, "Excuse me, I'm coming through."
That's what we're going to see all night, and I love it. I am ready for it.
And this is Bobby Labonte. Hunter-Reay tried to close the door. Bobby was in there. Not only made that save, but got the spot.
That is about as sideways as you get without spinning out. So incredible car control there. Both guys at full slip angle almost, and Tony Stewart sneaking his way through. That's I'm excited for the rest of the night if we're already at this point.
That's fun. So Greg Biffle, our race leader, has already led more today than all of the NASCAR drivers did last week at Five Flags in Pensacola. Very much an IndyCar driver-dominated show last Saturday.
Yeah, very interesting, and I think that is the shortness of this track. These, the NASCAR guys, a lot of these guys grew up racing short tracks, racing cars very similar with a power-weight ratio like this. And Tony, on one of his good pals, Marco Andretti, he's probably not going to sit back and wait around for Marco very long. I think he's probably going to get a little forceful here very soon.
About a minute and a half left in this timed 12-minute heat race number 1.
Interesting line differences there between Tony and Marco. Marco is very much doing a V-shape line in the corner, which is kind of go in, stop the thing on the nose, and accelerate really hard out. And Tony's got a bit of a different philosophy, so it's kind of cool to see two drivers from wildly different backgrounds having two interesting different styles.
What makes you take that different style? Your background?
Well, every driver is different. Every driver has a way that they like to get the grip to the front tires. A lot of people use the brake. A lot of people try to, get off the throttle early and let the rear rotate the car. And it's just a matter of what you like, what you think is fastest. And every driver is right. I can promise you that in our own minds. So.
I understand. The best mover in this heat race so far has been both Tony Stewart and Ryan Newman. They've each moved up 5 spots. There is Stewart, took the green flag in 8th. Running in 3rd behind Marco Andretti as we get to the final half minute or so. That's good for a couple of laps here at South Boston. There's a little nudge on the bumper. Stewart on Andretti.
Does Tony go for the last lap pass? We'll come into the white flag now. We'll see if he fires it in there.
Couple of sets of corners to go. There's Marco up the track a little bit. Stewart to his inside, looking for turn 3.
Big washout by Marco Andretti there, and Tony took advantage of it.
Stewart forces him up the racetrack to the checkered flag. Greg Biffle wins the heat, and Andretti and Stewart make more contact after the checkered flag.
Everyone loves a little post-race contact. That was awesome.
That was fun. Greg Biffle, his 3rd heat win in SRX competition. The native of the Portland, Oregon area is on the board tonight here in South Central Virginia. Good start to our Superstar Saturday night.